Thing number five, Gary, moving to companies have pushed customer patience to new lows. Very interested in this. You mentioned the airlines. I'm sure you'll touch on that. Everyone can see it firsthand, but what do we have on that topic, Gary?
First of all, credit here. The study was done by Forrester, and the reporting on this was from the Wall Street Journal. Credit to both of those organizations. Forrester tracks customer, they have a US customer experience index. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know, exactly how it's calculated, but just a couple of years ago, it was up around 72, and it has plummeted to an all-time low just above 69. Um, and so basically what it's telling us is that customers are not happy with their interactions with the companies that they do business with. So the airlines are the obvious example, right? Like on one hand, everybody's feeling inflationary pressure. Companies have higher supply costs, higher fuel costs, higher labor costs. They're raising prices, cutting in-store assistance, reducing customer staffing, right? We get all of this. But the worst part about it is they're adding all kinds of unexpected fees. So again, I've talked about this a lot. I travel a lot, and I have the same frustration as everybody else, right? I go to buy a plane ticket, and it looks like, okay, hey, this ticket to, Thailand or Nicaragua or, Peru or wherever I'm going looks like a great deal, right? Okay, hey, this is a terrific price. And, we're all used to seeing, okay, we're going to add taxes on here. I'm used to that. But then you get a fuel surcharge. Okay, fine. And then an airport surcharge. All right, whatever. It's not that much money. But now, they're charging you to pick a seat. I don't mean to move up to first class. I mean, if you want to reserve a seat, they charge you for that. If you want to check a bag, they charge you for that. And I've had situations where I was buying a $300 plane ticket, but the baggage fees were $120. That's
Oh,
not a
yeah.
$300 plane ticket, right? I mean, these are meaningful numbers, but then it gets even worse. They'll charge you for a carry-on bag. So they're going to charge you to check a bag. They're going to charge you for a carry-on bag. Then they want to charge you to get on the plane early enough to put your carry-on bag in the overhead, right? It's just one thing after another, and now you get on, they're charging for drinks and meals, and, you can pay to get on the plane sooner. The whole thing has just gotten to the point where that $300 ticket, by the time you're done, might cost you $500, and that's not even close. Of course, people are upset. I don't like dealing with this. It wastes my time.
Yeah, I love the $79 Southwest fares that then all of a sudden balloon. Your next thing you know, you're $300 one way. I've learned to become a minimalist when I travel, right? The less is more in that situation. Gary, as a business, I mean, where would you position your business, right? Because I think what I've seen, I use actually one of a local sandwich shop I have, right? They've always from day one provided quality ingredients. I'd say they go above and beyond in terms of the actual what you get, right? Just in terms of the value, size of the sandwich, etc. Then on the flip side, you look at Subway, right? And their $5 footlongs, which now are $12, I think,
Yeah.
per footlong. So that advertising campaign has had to be revised. But what I've noticed is prices have obviously increased at my local shop, but I feel actually okay still paying those increased prices because I still feel like I get the value, right? Versus at Subway, I'm paying the inflated prices, yet I'm still getting a crappy $5 footlong sandwich.
I think that's a great point. And, I haven't been in a Subway in years, but, I did used to go there on occasion. One of my great frustrations is the sandwich that I would get there never matched the photo up on the board, right? The photo on the board is piled high, tons, I like
Yeah.
it's tons of vegetables, and, and the meat is so thick and like,
Advertisers can be shysters.
yeah, you guys are terrible. Uh, but like, you go in and like they put, three slices of processed turkey and, some shredded iceberg lettuce, and it never looks like the photo. Um, so, I think that's an issue. I, you know, I really, Rob, I really have mixed feelings on this one. Um, on one hand, we do understand, um, why consumers are so frustrated. And more and more is being put on them. One of the other examples I've given is, if we go back to when I first started using computers, software companies they'd send out a physical disk, and that was
Mhm.
the whole program. So it was debugged, right? What you got was the final product because they weren't doing internet updates. Now, companies basically send out their beta versions. People buy them, and the expectation is, don't worry, we'll make patches over time. And then, what ends up happening, I know for me, I've had situations where like an app wouldn't work on my cell phone, or like my nav system on my cell phone wasn't connecting to my car. And so the question is it the carrier? Is it the device? Is it the app maker? Is it the operating system maker? Is it the entertainment system or navigation system in the car? Is it the Bluetooth problem? Like, we're all now tech support for
Mhm.
ourselves. And that is a huge hidden tax. All the effort that we have to put in to make things work. And every time they don't, like, you have to do your own troubleshooting on this because everybody points at somebody else, right? T-Mobile will blame Samsung
Right.
or Apple. They'll blame Google or Apple. They'll blame the app maker. Then they're going to blame, the JVC radio, or stereo maker. Like, they're all pointing at each other. And for us to sort this out is a huge, huge hidden tax. But I also think it's worthwhile to put in a moment, and I know people aren't going to like this, but I do have a little bit of sympathy for some of the corporations. And hear me out before you guys start, getting angry at me. I know it's horrible to, have sympathy for a corporation who's annoying you. Um, but think about it this way. Imagine, like, in the consumer electronics business, you go into a store and you talk to somebody, and that store, they're paying rent, they have stock, they have inventory, they have salespeople they have to pay, they have security, they've got people they've trained. And you take an hour talking to a salesperson who talks you through the whole purchase, explains the difference between different models, who has good screens, who has reliable product, and they walk you through all of that. And then people walk out of the store and they go buy it on Amazon for $50 cheaper. Now, listen, you're entitled to do that. But there is something a little disingenuous
Mhm.
about always going to the low cost provider. And so, of course, people are upset about customer service. You're not paying for it, right? If you want good customer service, you have to be prepared to pay more than, when you do the research yourself and just click the buy button on Amazon or on a website. If you want to do that work yourself, that's totally fine. But, if you go into a physical store and you're not willing to pay a little bit more for the fact that they have to pay rent, they have to pay their people, they've got people trained, um, then how do you complain that you get bad service? And by the way, I'm guilty of this as well. Um, I absolutely hate the customer experience of shopping at Costco. It's exhausting. You've got to bag everything. There's no bagging, right? Everything goes like you load your cart, then you unload it on the counter, and then you load it back in the cart, and then you load it into your car, and then you end up carrying everything like one at a time from the car into the house. It's a 3-hour ordeal. It is not fun. There's no customer service there. Well, guess what? Why do I go to Costco? Because it's cheaper,
Right.
right? So I'm guilty of this as well, right? This is my fault as well. So it's not just Taylor Swift's fault. That part of it is on me. Sorry, everyone. But it's hard. Like, if we want good customer service, we have to be willing to pay for it. And if we want the lower prices, that's fine too. But then we have to expect that we're not going to get good customer service. I think it's very hard for companies right now to find the right mix between high quality service, a good shopping experience, good sales support, good when you have problems, mitigating it for you, but also doing this at a price point that customers will value. I don't envy companies trying to make those decisions right now. I think it's very hard at the moment.
Yeah, well said, Gary. And I think you're right. Kind of that domino effect, right? From the top down, affecting everybody. This concludes this week's 5 things. As always, thank you so much for the support and for watching wherever you may be on the globe. We appreciate you and making DKI into what it is today. What is DKI? We continue to push for new research ideas, but highly in-depth research and information on what's happening in the market to keep you in tune and help you navigate the market. As always, please head to our website, check out the information there, sign up for a free subscription to be alerted on new emails, content that we're publishing, as well as consideration to become a premium subscriber where you'll get access to Gary's portfolio, stock picks, all research and report, exclusive webinars, excuse me, the whole 9 yards there. So, Gary, any closing thoughts for today's episode?
I think just the last thing is a little appreciation for the young people that we've had around here. DKI has had some amazing interns. You know, Andrew came to us from the University of Tennessee and in a short time has become a huge contributor, saving me hours a week. You know, Alex, who you just saw today, in his first week did an enormous amount of this week's 5 things. Terrific prep, great attitude. You know, terrific to see him being a contributor in just his first week. But, you know, I've also had the opportunity to be in touch with a lot of the former interns just in the last week. I've, you know, been texting with Danny and Jordan. Tristan and I were texting earlier this week. Justin Guerra graduated and started his own business.
Nice.
And, you know, I had a chance to get on the phone with him last week to catch up. You know, these people they're smart, they're aggressive, they take correction well. Some of them are starting their own businesses, they're doing entrepreneurial things. They're all doing a phenomenal job in life. They deserve a huge amount of success. And you know, I want nothing but good things for them. It's great to see them succeeding. And I've been fortunate to have every one of them as part of Deep Knowledge Investing.
Great. And yeah, I can attest to that as well. Any of the interns you've had on, Gary, have been nothing but top notch, huge supporters. And yeah, look forward to increased contributions from all of them as well. And that'll wrap up today's show. Gary, closing remarks?
No, we're all good. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll look forward to speaking with you next week about whatever is going on in finance this week.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, so long.